And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing Factorio Extreme Production. And we're working our way up. I've done a little bit more research. We've got some more options, further away options for loading, and I'm researching more inserters now, which should start unlocking the corners, because you can actually have a whole lot of freedom with the inserters, with the Bob's adjustable inserters. So yeah, we're doing pretty good on that front. All right, so we want to get blue science going, and give ourselves a little bit of space here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 away. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna have 12 of these running, basically one a second. If we were crafting at 1x speed, which we're not, we're at 0.75. But anyway, it's kind of all the same at that point. As you upgrade your assemblers, you'll just craft them faster and faster. So we're going to have these go up. So these require engines, red circuits, and electric mining drills. And the electric drills are really where your bottleneck will be. So the electric drills take 2 seconds to craft. So we want at least 2 of these, because we want 1 a second. Ideally, you'd have more than that, just to make sure that there's a backlog. Although, you know, I don't know. A lot of people who play this game love to basically min-max the whole thing, and you know, get all of the ratios just perfect. And I unfortunately am not one of those players. I really don't have a need to maximize production like that. So this guy is going to go up here. We want to leave some room for some extras, that's for sure. And we're going to also give ourselves a little bit of a buffer. I want to do the buffer for the green and the reds as well, but we're kind of tight on resources right now, so we can't really get into that very far. Okay. So the drills use the same materials that we have over here, only they use them in higher quantities. If you look at an inserter, like my inserters over here, these are using 2, 2, and 1. Well, two electric circuit, 2 iron plates. The gears are being used here, and that's just at 1 gear. Whereas the drills are 3, 5, and 10. So much more resource intensive. 5 times more almost than the little factory I've got over here for my inserters. So we're gonna want, you know, fresh lines coming in. We're gonna want them well supplied, because again, your big limiter on blue science now is the crafting of those drills. With that research set finished, let's see what we unlocked here. Oh, look at that. We have the diagonals that are now opened up. Wow. Yeah, pretty soon, you know, they'll fill in all the things. So yeah, we're going to make sure those are back 1. So it loads off of both of those belts. So we have the creation of 1 a second, and they're going to consume 1 a second. So if we go down to our engines, we have 10 of these assemblers, and they take 10 seconds to make. So we're making these at 1 a second. So we really don't have a surplus of engines right now. Only when blue science completely runs dry will we have a net surplus of engines. So just keep that in mind if you are trying to plan this stuff out carefully. Okay, so we are gonna have, I'm gonna try to put in 3, like 1, 2, 3 for our mining drills. And again, a lot of plates, iron gears, and electronic circuits. So ideally, I think we're going to come up here with it. I want like 1. Oh, this would be so much easier if I could. Actually, I can. 2, 3. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to have 3 belts come up. Now that we have the research on inserters, I'm going to take these. Okay. And on this one, I'm going to go out 1. On this one, we're going to go out 2. That's going to stretch. That's going to stretch that one to the limit there. So on the middle one, we want these to go out 1. And on this one, we're going to go out 2 on the far side. So that's going to stretch that way out, which will slow it down. So we want that one, that outside one, to be whatever they need the fewest of, which looks like circuits. So the green circuits will go right in over there. Luckily, we have green circuits right here, and I'm just gonna spaghettify this system a little bit. Hope everybody's hungry for spaghetti. So there are circuits ready to go. So they only need 3 circuits, and once we upgrade, once we upgrade the stack bonuses, then that'll be a little bit more efficient. So the next one in will be gears. So the next one will be gears. Let's get gears going. Let's get a fresh line of gears going. So right down here, that's where gears are. All right, so we want that to come up, that to come up. And we're going to need to kind of take into account that there is now engines. We should be able to bypass all of that as well. And I'll eventually get rid of this blue. This little setup over here will eventually go away. So let's get gears on the track. And then we just need iron plates. Lots and lots and lots of iron plates, which is why I made those closer. Those are closer than the other ones. So, oh, this is a problem. We don't have the underground beltness in order to make that work. You know what? I think I'm going to just take this apart now. Like so. There we go. Now we need massive amounts of iron. So we're going to pop that out there. Hopefully. Right along this line here. Okay, we do clear it. So that's good. Okay, so we have gears, we have iron. Now let's try to feed these. So we have a ton of everything, but I want, these are all going to go on one side of the belt. So we're gonna stretch this down a little ways, maybe give ourselves a little bit more room for extra assemblers. So there's 3 there, there's 3 there, there's 3 there. So let's stretch this down like this. Oh. All right, so those are going to go on the outside, which is going to be the inside, or the side that I'm facing. This is where those things are going to go. So we want red circuits to come in. Those are way back here, still piling up. We've got quite a few of them going right now, but we're about to empty pretty much all of those. We're going to get a full belt coming out. Okay, so we want red circuits to come in, like right in here. We're going to need more splitters, get those started. Okay, so this will go up. Okay, so we're going to need right there. It's kind of hard to do when I don't have the bus built out. I do want to get that remedied. Okay, so those will go on the inside. And then the engines we're going to have come in right in here. We're going to just zip around this stuff here. And are those in the way? Oh, those aren't. I didn't move those, so that's why those are in the way. I think this turns off. I think that, yeah, it went out to our radar, so that disabled that for a brief amount of time. Okay, so let's get engines along. All right, now we need to shove them right up into here, and we're going to actually use a splitter, just like this was a bus. We're going to use a splitter. Because we're going to need to bring them in and make electric engine units for the productivity science packs. But that should fill that whole belt. And then just to make sure, I want to keep those legit. Those will go on the outside here, which translates to the inside here, and should be good to go. So let's get these powered up first. And we don't have a way of powering those ones on the inside. Can we quickly research the electronic distribution here? As you can see, this one's stretched way out to here, but it worked. It grabbed them. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I could try to put an underground in here. So like right in here. You can see this is kind of takes its time. Because that research is kind of going slow. I could actually there we go. And then when we research the stack bonus, they'll pick up, 2 at a time, then 3 at a time, then 4 at a time, and be able to make that work without looking so derpy. Because it does slow them down. The more they have to travel, the slower they're going to be, regardless if they're a fast inserter or not. They're going to go slow. All right, so over here is the regular pattern. So one, unfortunately, it's a big waste. I know there's some OCD people out there going, oh my god. But I wanted to get this going. Oh, I missed one. You know, and you can shift click, you know, if you have two poles that are connected and they're connected in a way that you don't want, you can shift click them, get rid of the electricity between them, and then run your own copper cable between. So that is an option, but only for the extremely OCD does that come into play, or the people who just like symmetry. Or, but also keep in mind that there are times like blueprints that where it doesn't save those connections. So those manual connections that you make with the copper cable, they don't save in blueprints. So we're actually making these every second and a half. And there goes our iron. Our iron just disappeared. As you can see, it's just pretty much constantly going right now. A lot of gears, and iron just evaporates at that point. The one thing I want to do as we get into major production, because I have space for another set of iron coming down, and for our second belt for the bus. So we're definitely going to do that. But I'm going to have separate iron smelting areas for, say, the gears. So I'm going to have one dedicated line for each set of gears, and then we're going to have one for green circuits, because green circuits, we're gonna expand green circuits quite a bit. We're gonna use a lot of them, so we're gonna want this absolutely maximized, because we're gonna also have a second belt of green circuits coming up, and there'll be a whole new belt going across, and that's going to use a massive amount of iron as well as copper. So we're going to be running a lot of copper, which is why I have so much copper and iron. Even though we have all these other glorious ores to work with, we're still going to use plenty. Oh, something happened. Something is wrong down here. We are not sending up any more plastic. So what happened? What happened down here? What am I full of that's not getting done? Oh, these don't have power. What? Power. Ah, look at that. Right in there. That would be why. And now they have power, but no gas. What? Ooh, look at that. We have a massive amount. So this is going to fill lubricant barrel. And we're going to then, I want a couple barrels here. I'm going to put in this. I want to make 200 barrels. I'll do that myself. And we're going to bring out, put in, and we're going to want to power this thing. It's like so. We got a little, you know, the little bit of lubricant that this thing loaded. Started using a little bit of this, which relieved a little tension here, which allows us to build a little bit more. Yeah, we're gonna want, this is the right one, yeah. So loading all of these, this is 250 lubricant per barrel, which is crazy. But these are now going strong. I could build a 5th one of those, but I'm in the process of making barrels right now. But I needed to relieve that pressure because, yeah, we filled up with heavy oil, which is kind of amazing. Didn't fill up at all with light oil because we are making it into solid fuel pretty much exclusively. And how are we doing here? Doing pretty good. And we don't have this second stack. I forgot about this. I went up to do other things and completely forgot about this other stack of refineries, which is unlike me. It's weird that I would forget that. Maybe I just didn't want to deal with all the pipes. We got plenty of pipes now, though. All right, let's put the barrels in that we've got. All right, now lubricant is pretty much gone, and heavy oil is going down, which is good. It's just a matter of making sure these are empty with heavy oil. Okay, so let's go up here. So we have blue science. I want to get blue science going because we actually need to, the first blue science research I always do is the research for the advanced oil processing, just because that affects the game, you know, in a big way, because we start processing better things. So we need to get the undergrounds built, and I don't have, let's see, I can make a few of them. And we don't have radar coverage down here, which we're gonna want. We are definitely gonna want that. We have Mark II radars now, so I'm gonna build one of those. I'm gonna make sure we have radar coverage down in our oil, so I can drop things off in chests, because I'd like to drop those barrels off down there. Okay, so let's just get these going. And we'll be able to do some blue research. Well, once we have a few locked in. And the other obvious thing that we're going to need is an inserter to grab the new blue science. There we go. Yep, one more this way. So obviously we have just enough to max out that line, but we don't have any in the backlog at all, which is unfortunate. And iron is the real issue at this point. Unfortunately, these are not all going. So it's an issue of throughput right now. You know, we're able to craft them, but we can't move the material fast enough. So that is, and we, even if we could move the material fast enough, we're not bringing in enough iron to even remotely close to satisfy what we're gonna need. So that's the unfortunate truth with that, and we have a lot more barrels to unload. But I will get these things done, and we will come back next episode and hopefully get a new, better oil refining system going. So let's put these barrels in. Got quite a lot. I do want another, I think, let's do 6, just because reasons. And these should be all linked up. Okay, they're all linked up. They're all working. You can also turn off the alt and see if they have little green floaties. That means they are operational. So that's good. Alright, well that'll do it for this episode, and I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.